I had to
Make
do
sure I do
in
my
a minute.
iPad. Okay. So we are live now. Let me. Yes, we are. See, look, you got stuff all on there. Okay, let me turn this down and share it to my page.
Aren't you doing it through Facebook?
Yeah, I'm just sharing, giving people the chance to watch.
I'm sharing your page. Why you don't never do it through Instagram?
It's the program doesn't have the Instagram feature. It shares straight to YouTube. But does not have the Instagram feature. At least I don't think it does. I need to double check. Because I know Instagram is a pretty big audience over there too. Why is this doing this? Stop it. Stop it. Hold on. Oh man. I'm super excited about this.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What you doing?
I'm live.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nara.
Nyla, hi. Hi, April. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Okay, come on through there, Lena, with your pretty self.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, how
now.
you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
We are, well, I'm fantastic. I can't answer for nobody else.
You look great.
Thank you. You know, I try.
Man,
Yes,
I was
honey.
man. Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Master?
Chilling.
I don't know why it's not letting me share. I guess we're not going to share for right now.
I love you.
So, I love you too, Nyla. All right.
What we talking about again? Sickle cell and parenting, right?
Yes, we're talking about co-parenting. We're talking about, we're going to be reacting to the video that I posted first and foremost. And then I think we're just going to dive into everything from that point forward. So I don't know if other people have seen it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen so that we can watch the video together. It's not that long. And then, from there, let's talk about it. Okay?
Oh Lord. Now I gotta watch it again. I should have never watched it the first time. I don't want to see it again.
Because I just feel like, you know what? I'm going to save it till later. I'm going to keep my comments to myself. Okay, let me go to share screen. All right. Okay. Okay. So from there, you guys can see. You see the video?
Yeah.
All right. Let's dive into it.
You don't need a husband to be the queen of a throne.
Successful look like?
Happy in your own skin, happy with the person that you are, in love with the person that you are, that you have to look for a man to. And doesn't need a husband to be successful. I didn't need my husband. I was already successful and up before I had him.
What are you talking about?
You don't need a husband to be successful. Not at all. You don't need a husband to be.
What look like? What does successful look like, boys?
Happy in your own skin, happy with the person that you are, in love with the person that you are, that you don't have to look for a man to love you because you already love yourself. And that's what I mean by a successful female. Because success can look in any other way.
Is a successful female going to have children?
Yeah, she may have children. She may have children.
So it's part of being successful with kids?
Yes, you can be successful with kids. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So how can you be in this, what you just painted out to be successful without being married and you have a child in this scenario? So without
the child nothing to do with that scenario.
Children has everything to do with that scenario. When you said a woman can be successful and not get married, when you add a child to that, she is no longer successful. She is now a single mother. And being a single mother is not success. Single motherhood is failure. A child, a family comprises of a man and a woman, not a woman. If you are a single mother, there is a certain amount of failure. And I'm sorry to say this, but we got to stop this shit. We have to look at life the way it actually is instead of what y'all asses want it to be. For you to sit here and say you could be successful, cool, yes. But when I started asking you different parts of the success, and you started adding children, well, if there's no man in the household, if there's no man leading, helping you raise that child, sorry, that is not success. You would have said, oh, woman can make millions of dollars. Not that success. But there's no success when there's only a mother and not a father in the household, because then you're thinking selfishly. You may feel like you're successful, but does your child think you're successful? They think that they're successful. No, because there's no daddy. And even if the daddy was around, they didn't have a daddy raise them in the same household. There is no success without the intact family. Now, I've admitted in my own life that I have a failed marriage and I spent time with my kids, but I was no longer in the household. See, with all of us, just like what you're saying, you've been through a lot, right? The number one thing we have to do, stop being children and be real with ourselves and say, hey, I do have a certain level of failures in my life. Therefore, I cannot do them again. A lot of these ladies, they're not cognizant of their failures because they're used to women saying, oh, don't worry about that. Oh, it's his fault. It's her fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. And there's no level of accountability because if you don't see where you failed at, you're destined to fail again in the same way. You know, they say, if he who does not know their history is
Okay. Let me take the screen share off. So, would anyone like to start first with their thoughts on that lovely rendition of Cameo's baby brother? Let me stop. Oh,
I mean, you know, people always tell on themselves when they start talking. You just let them talk and you just listen, Yeah. And then you're just like, oh, okay. I see where you're coming from. It's like that. There's a lot of that going on these days.
Yep. Bitterness.
I don't even know where to begin.
I have a lot to say, and I'm going to unpack it because I'm trying to let y'all, say what y'all need to say, but I just feel like it's burning a hole in my soul right now.
Get going now.
Okay, so again, like you said, if you let someone talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. Now, when he said, I have failed marriage, he didn't say I'm a failure.
Right.
I failed my children.
Right.
I'm the failure as well.
Yeah.
Men equally are failures in the situation. It takes two to fail.
It takes two.
At a
It takes
double
two.
parent, 2-parent home. You know, I don't think
Y'all
as
believe
a
that
sickle
for real?
listen.
2 people to succeed and 2 people to fail.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. So, is it really truly failure if you have someone who totally changed into a different person and you're saving yourself and your child? Even if it took for you to have the child to see that, okay, this is not the life I want for my child, right? You know what I'm saying? So how could that be failure? Honestly, it's a generational thing, and I feel like sometimes men and women, they stay in something out of obligation or out of feeling like, you know, oh, this is what's supposed to be, and they're unhappy, unstable. And how is that success? That's success. Showing your kids that they're not capable of having a functional relationship in under one household, so they don't even know what it really looks like to love someone. Is that success? Because a single parent can also show themselves, loving themselves enough and their child enough to walk away from something and have that self-love and build on that self-love for themselves and for the child. And maybe down the line they go ahead and get married anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, there's so many different ways. And even if that person doesn't, man or woman, get married again or have another relationship where it's a 2-family household, 2-parent household, like, it's not a failure in the sense of the child will have issues, right? That's a given. The child would have whatever issues. If they're not living with their mom, they might have mommy issues. If they're not living with their dad, they might have daddy issues down the line. But when you reflect on things and you really think about, okay, so had I stayed with the person that I had this child with, would it be better for them or not? Would they even know what a successful relationship looks like? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Just because you're in a relationship, you could be getting beat, emotionally abused, dogged out, you know, it could be fights like cats and dogs every day, arguing. That's not success. That is the opposite. That's failure. That's failure. And honestly, I don't think that anybody is in a position to judge personally anybody's story. So for him to say single mothers are failures, I highly take a whole different beast to be a single parent, okay? Any mom, dad, anybody. I always give it up to Master because I know as a single mom, I know how hard it is being a single parent. It's not easy. Would I have chose this life? No. Did I go into my relationship saying, oh, I'm just going to be with this person and then leave this person and be a single mom in my life? No, that's not what I said. This was someone I was supposed to marry. Thank goodness I didn't. Okay? Because who knows? My daughter might have serious emotional issues. My daughter's happy. She's thriving. She's loved. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know what it looks like to be in a dysfunctional situation. You know, as far as in a home, her home is filled with love and peace and joy and happiness. So could I have provided that to her if I stayed with her father? No. No. Half the time, probably. But if I'm being honest with myself, no. And it's not, oh, it's your fault for choosing this person. No.
I mean, I agree with you when it comes to the fact that first of all, I'm not big on calling anyone a failure. Like, to me, that's extreme.
Yeah.
So the fact that he came in that hot already had me like sent, because it's like, why are you so hot and talking and trying to make sure that single mothers, right? I don't know, is he talking about Black single mothers? Like, why are you so, see, I'm an empath, so the energy, I'm looking at his energy, I'm looking at his aura as he's so vigorously trying to explain to this woman how you can't be successful as a woman that has children if you don't have a man. And I'm just waiting for him to say, you know, it's the same as well. You can't be successful as a father without having a mother in the home. But he left that part out. See, it's always about the stuff people don't say with me. It's like everything you just said, Shay, no, he wasn't talking about none of that. He ain't mentioned no love, support. He just wants us to know that without a man, a husband, we fail.
I's married now. We are not. It's not like that no more. Stop. Just stop.
Like, why was he so adamant about that? Why did his voice get so hype when it was like, I mean, can somebody tell me? It's like it's the salt I want to know about. And then, of course, when he mentioned his own, his own life, it's like, well, okay, but if you're talking about yourself, then say that.
Just say that.
Say that. Say, in my experience. But then also, if you're not with your children, if you're not living in the same home as your children, sir, you can't call anyone a failure at anything. You can't. That's impossible. You cannot do that. You can't. So to me, it's like, even if he were talking about all the things you listed about living in a space where your child is provided for and they're healthy and intact, because that's what the young lady said. He asked her, how do you define? I love it when they go, well, how do you, ask you all the questions, how do you, it's like, that doesn't really work on me. And so to see someone else in that same position where it's like, it looks like her heart was beating fast, I wanted to be like, girl, slow your heart, because he's not the one to spend this type of energy on. He obviously has a very pointed issue or point of view that he wants all of us to understand, us being the women, right? Where's all the gusto for the men when they get to talking about how women are failures at everything?
So do you think that a man that don't live in a house with his kids is a failure?
To a certain degree, yes. Yes, I do. Just because if you're going to call someone else a failure for that thing, that it doesn't matter what gender the person is. Like, if he's trying to say that if there's only one parent in the household, then that means two people have failed. And to me, it doesn't matter, because I'm a child of, I was raised both with my parents, and then there was a long portion where there was just one of my parents. And so I understand basically, how it happened, what it was. I had absolutely no control over where my parents was and when and why while I was being raised. And I am extremely successful.
You do understand though that the court system is designed though for y'all to end up with the kid.
Oh, the court. Oh yeah, for sure. The court system is very biased. They
So that's what I mean. So to say that a man that's not in the house with his kid is a failure or a failing. I disagree with that one. Only because there's a lot of men that want to be in the house with their kids. There's a lot of men I know some guys that'll say, send me my kid, then you don't have to worry about nothing. And they would prefer to have their child, but the courts won't let them have their child. And the woman is using the power that the courts has given her to enforce his pain. So how could he be seen as a failure if he's really trying? Now I do feel like the dudes that have that situation and they're not fighting for their kid. Now I do think those are failures. You know what I mean? I agree with that.
So you base you base whether or not it's a failure or a success on their intent.
Their intent their intent to on their drive, really, on what they're doing.
The action, yeah.
A person can sit up and talk about how they want their kid all day, but how many people going to the court to get them? Because there's times where you have a child, like you have some situations. My situation started off with joint, so it was like 3.5 days apiece, pretty much. You know what I mean? So you have some of those, and so it's like I can't say that the 3.5 days that my daughter wasn't with me, I was stealing. So it's like I just look at that, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of guys that's not in the house, but they want to be in the house, or not per se with the woman, but with their child for sure.
Yeah, that's understandable. And if we go solely by intent, then of course there's going to be gray areas. Like for myself, I spent over a decade without my father in the home, with no communication. It was not a situation where either of us were allowed. And then on top of that, and but when I say allowed, I mean just within the family sense. It was a fractured family. My parents' marriage was fractured, and they had to split apart. And so my mother, took me and raised me for a good portion, those really important years. My dad wanted to be with me, and I wanted to be with my dad. His intent was never to be away from me. I'm his daughter. I'm his only daughter. I'm his oldest, child. His intent doesn't mean that he didn't fail. And I told him that when we were reunited, because it's from my perspective. I'm the child. You might have wanted to be there, but you weren't. Now, that doesn't mean that I blame him for any issues that I have from that time period, because I'm a grown woman now, and I do my therapy and I do the work to heal myself, because that's my responsibility. But I did let him know, this is your portion, okay, of the accountability, and then here's her portion of the accountability. And I think the problem with people like this guy in this video in particular is he just wants us to know it's us, it's y'all, it's y'all, it's y'all, it's y'all.
Well, this guy bitter. He hurt. He damaged.
Yeah,
he's very
hurt.
That's
why he was. You could tell, like he said, I have a failed marriage, because that's when you really can tell. Like that's why
I think he feels like he's a failure, and he's projecting a lot onto people that he knows he can get online and bash, because it's hot to bash Black women right now. Everybody is just like, what y'all doing?
Well, there was a particular time where Black men was the target. And if you really want to think, if you really think about it, Black men is the target just throughout life in general. Like y'all are like.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that I feel like we know that as Black people is like, we have to try to heal, because pitting the Black man against the Black woman is how we ended up here in the first place.
It's destructive.
Well, segregation, I think, is how we ended. Desegregation is, how we ended up here in the first place. I think we should have stayed segregated.
I would have preferred to not be kidnapped here in the first place. I would have preferred that.
But if we were here,
I don't want none of that. I would have preferred for them to leave us where we was at.
I had a conversation with someone recently, and they were saying how, oh, I love everyone and all this, everyone, and I like, and that's cool, that's fine. Like, I love everyone too, but I don't think that we should have babies and families with everybody. I think that what Chinese people do is perfectly fine. Like, they stay with their own. Everybody really
the
stay with
arranged
their own
marriage.
except for us. Yeah, everybody. Like, when you look at China, I don't know about where y'all live, but like Chicago, I don't see Chinese people living in the black neighborhood. I don't see Chinese people living in even the Mexican neighborhoods. I see Mexicans too live in the Mexican neighborhoods. I see Chinese people. They have a whole like Chinatown with Walgreens got Chinese letters and stuff on it. Like, so it's like, but with us though, we be dying to get to them. Like, we be dying to get to anybody but us, pretty much. And I think that when segregate, well, even Martin Luther King clearly stated that he was wrong, right? It's cool.
Hey, Dima.
Hi, y'all.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, what I miss?
Okay, so we watched the video.
Okay.
That I sent everyone, and we're just pretty much unpacking it in our feelings and thoughts about it. So you didn't really miss too much. You can add, your feelings about it before we move on to the next thing.
I just felt like fake Kevin Samuels tried it, and he tried to reach. I think he was trying to put down women to make a come up and get views and get attention. And he had no point to make. Unlike Kevin Samuels, he makes points.
Yeah.
He drills the point, and it might be harsh, but there is a point. But there was no point to what the man was saying. So I don't know what background he came from. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we come from a generation of women who are Black women, and I'm assuming his mother was a Black woman, and I don't know if she was single. I don't know, He mentioned being divorced and having a broken marriage, so I would come to the conclusion that he is a failure based on the data that he presented in his conversation. And so, the Bible says we can fall down 7 times, but we get back up. And we use what we learn to become a success. So to kind of nip his point, or the point he was trying to make, in the bud, you can be a single mother and a billionaire and bring home the bacon, fry up in a pan, and then find you a new boo.
Super, okay. Crayon case, people.
That would raise your child better than the old one ever tried to attempt to. Look at me, because I have a son from a previous relationship, and I, upgraded to an individual who decided to accept my child and all the baby daddy drama that came with it. So, and I'm much more of a success now because I dropped the baggage. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
That was point A, B, C, and D that we didn't hit, and you didn't hit. So it's been twice. We said he needs to go get his therapy work together and get off the internet with your personal bitterness, because just because you have a feeling doesn't mean that that's how the whole world is. America is we are, first of all, we're trapped here. Everybody else is, they can, everybody else here. We got these oceans here, and then we just trapped here, y'all. There's 10 different colors of people, 10 different types of living. Okay. I mean, Master was just talking about how in our community, in the Black community, our community is so much more fractured. You see these other communities, where, Mexican people have their own thing, and then the Chinese people have their own thing. And it's like, well, we have our own thing. It's just that, for one, we've been, oppressed here for so long, and it really is no escape. We can't just cross over into, one of the 6 countries that border us, because Mexico and Canada ain't having it. They're like, y'all deal with y'all mess down there. And so we're trapped here, and we have been oppressed, y'all, for so long. But, still, America is an infant.
And to your point, Lena, we were trained to hate one another.
Yeah.
Colorism and sexism against each other, Black men, Black women, we were trained to do that. So he's just repeating what he has learned. That is learned behavior, and he needs to unlearn it very quickly.
It's a generational curse that unfortunately he doesn't even probably realize is actually on his life and his spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. I mean, because there are so many generational curses tied to Black people in America that, in reflecting and looking at failures, right? You get to learn, okay, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where did I go wrong? And you realize, dang, I went wrong. My mom went wrong. My grandma went wrong. My great grandma went wrong. Well, damn, somewhere down the line it has to stop. And so I personally decided, I do my best. I'm not perfect, but I decided it stops here. She had already off to a great start. She already doesn't have a lot of the things and influences to the generational curse that has occurred in my family tree, So it's all a matter of having the strength to do so, and the belief that you can. And honestly, I know that people can talk bad about, come on, Black women are the most underrated, underprotected, okay?
Malcolm X quote. There you
My point is like, it should be like, I should be used to hearing things like this already. And it's sad that I have to even say that, because all that has transpired in life, and especially on the internet recently, it's unfortunate to see, to hear, to witness. But I think that what we're doing here, I think us being able to come together as beautiful Black people, as parents, as sickle cell warriors, giving our, experiences, and helping others to understand that just because, our lives look a little different because of our illness, it means that we don't have normal lives. We don't the lives that other people lead. It's just a little harder. And by little, I mean lot, but So, I think, honestly, segregation is good and bad, because I know what you were saying, Master. Like, I do feel like we probably would have done better with our own everything if we had to be here. since they just have us here, just let us live our own lives. But I do understand, like, I feel like it still should have been, if we so choose to go into that diner or whatever, that restaurant, we don't have to go through the back or, be told, oh, you're black. So I get that. But
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Shabreon. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm not about to be living in no segregated society where them people is not segregating at nighttime. Do you want to be segregated all day or just in the daylight hours?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And then on top of that, segregated where? Because they stole this land, right? From somebody else, from some other man. Ran away from where they was running from because they got ran out of where they was living at. Got over here, decided that let's just go get somebody to do this because it's too hot and I don't even know what to do. And and then here we are. And then so how can what segregation could have preserved our culture, but what culture? Who are we? Do we know ourselves? Do we know where we come from? Do we know one another? How is it going to work?
I think at the time people were smart enough to, even if they chose to build their own culture, they could have. They weren't smart enough to do all of that fighting. They were smart enough to do all of that fighting. Some of those, like black people, was the inventors of most things. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure creating culture wouldn't have been too hard. Right?
I'm not saying that we don't have our own culture. What I'm trying to say is that when we're talking about specifically about segregation, right, in America, where you have a certain group of people, the oppressors who have created this entire country to fit their comfort, right? And then you have us, the people that actually did the work, and the people that had no choice but to do the work, and the people that have been oppressed, and the people that were separated, beat down, destroyed, languages taken away, everything stripped. We have to rebuild before we can, and I'm just trying to say that, like, I just disagree that segregation was going to work. Like, I just not here and
segregation
not
So
no.
I would have to agree.
It was the desegregation was the problem.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Master to a certain extent. And I say that because if you look at other communities, other minority communities, Vietnamese, Chinese, they all stick together and they all have a community. If you Exhibit A, the nail shop, not one like the corner, like not like the spa nail shop where you have to go to like the suburbs. I'm talking about the hood nail shop where everyone in there speaking the same language. They all live together. They all eat around the same time. They all share money, collect money, and it's understood that they're working together and it's a collective. Everything is together. But with our culture, we don't want to be with our family. We want to separate. As soon as you're 17, you're getting out of my house.
Exactly what I just said.
16, you getting out of my house. When it should be a collective, or like it should be understood. It takes a village, not only to raise a child. It takes a village to take care of each other. It really, to take care of a sickle cell patient, really, it takes a village. I'm gonna go to healthcare real quick. We need, as an individual with sickle cell needs, a therapist, a hematologist, a oncologist, a PCP, like I can go on and on. CHW, family support, caregivers. It's a village just to make sure this one person stays alive. Yeah. So within their infrastructure, within the Vietnamese or the Mexican or any other culture, They're cool with sticking by themselves. I feel like we're the only culture or only diaspora within our diaspora, outside of our diaspora. We're the only type of people that seek approval outside of ourselves. That's just my, that's why I
Whose
agree with
fault
that.
is that? Who did that? Whose fault is that?
It's
our fault at this
it's
point.
You say it's our fault, Master?
Oh, come
How is
It's
it our
our
fault?
fault. They gave
How is it our
listen,
fault?
let me tell you how.
We are partly
At
to
this
blame.
point, right? At this point, now we a lot to blame. At this point, right? So if you we could talk. Let's say football. You got two different teams. If a coach give you the playbook and you still lose, something wrong with you. They already told us what they want to do. We already know what they want to do. It's out now. What they wanted to do. The Willie Lynch letter is out here. And even if a person say that it's fake, it's still very relevant. So it's like, it's too many things that shows exactly what they want to do. Okay, we want to tear down the black man. Okay, so why we allowing it? Why we doing this? Why we tearing each other down? That's why it's us now. In a household, right? In a household, if a man keep abusing a woman or vice versa, at what point is she just stupid? Like, at some point, she got to smarten up and leave. At some point, she got to, like, stop allowing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true.
It's
or
a difference
he could
between,
stop being an abuser.
Huh?
Or he could stop being an abuser.
Right. And this is true, right? So, but instead of asking the person to change their behavior towards me, I'm going to change my behavior towards them. I'm going to change the fact that they even around me.
Yes, that's because you're a mature adult man
What you mean
who is
I'm
enlightened and
black
craves
people at
knowledge.
this point is enlightened. Black people at this point is enlightened.
We are. I don't know about
black
you.
people. Listen. It's too much. It's too much information, and
I hear what you're saying.
Too much. It's too much information.
This is choice.
Like, that's why I'm saying it's like at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, we the problem.
I got it.
For sure. At this point,
can't keep. How long we gonna keep blaming white people? How long?
I don't let them do nothing with
No
me.
change. Look, we blame. Look, you blame. They blame. Okay, you can blame them for slavery, right? You can blame them for that, of course. You can blame them even for like right after slavery, like years and years and years after slavery. But when people start seeing exactly and knowing exactly what it is, what they want, like we know that they want black people dead. Yet black people kill black people too. Like we know that they want our families torn apart. Yet we do everything to help them tear it apart. Like it's an us thing too. I think it's more of us than it is them. Because what are we giving them to even have where's the resistance? At least make it hard for them.
A lot of it's been crushed. A lot of it's gone. Once they sprinkle them drugs in the neighborhood back in the 80s, that hurt us real bad. We was down bad, and that destroyed a lot.
It's the drugs too, but there's a lot of operant conditioning and behavioral conditioning that happened early on. And it still persists in the community. When I talk about the conditioning, I mean like, I don't know if you guys been watching the Emmett Till story. But
yes,
I don't know. So
Woman of the Movement.
A lot back then it was we're gonna beat before Emmett Till. Before that is I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna cut your foot off. I'm gonna blow up your leg. I'm gonna blow up, and then after slavery, I'm gonna blow up your city. I'm gonna, you don't look at a white woman. You look at a white woman, you die. Keep your head down. Yes, sir, ma'am. Yes, sir. Oh, you're not gonna obey. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna, So it's a lot of conditioning. That conditioning still persists today because, we do anything wrong and drive, you don't use your blinker, get pulled over, thrown in jail for something you didn't do, or you get lynched in the middle of the street while it's being recorded. So there's a lot of conditioning that kind of like we're still triggered from it. I'm still triggered from it. I remember I was sick. I was driving because I live in Boston, and Boston's probably the most, I don't get it. It's the most racist town, but it's the most liberal at the same time. Like, you can call me
You ever been to Indiana?
you can call me the N-word. Like, a white person could call me the N-word. But if I call someone he that chooses to be they or she, rap. But they can call me the N-word and it's cool. So it's just like it's crazy. And we're conditioned, even at work. This person, wants to be associated this way. But I can't speak up and say, okay, you can't touch my hair. It's just a problem that persists. And these are things that have been happening since.
Yeah. So I think that's one of those residual effects of like that, that process, the constant process of dehumanization that follows Black people around in this country, where it's like everyone just wants to make sure we know, hey, you don't have any rights. Okay, my name is Karen. I'm here to let you know that you can't do that in this Dollar Tree store. You know what I'm saying? Like that it feels like everywhere we go, we are followed around by this notion that anyone and everyone has more rights than we do because we're Black people, and that I feel like is very, that happening still like in 2022, it just is old and stale, it's old and stale. But what it lets me know is that there are people in this country, right, and a lot of them, right, that love to all put on the same color. They hold their racism really up high. Like they love, like they're at the end of the day, they can be liberal, they can be this, they can change their views, but a lot of them are going to hold tight to that notion that, well, I'm still better than Lena because she's Black. So sad.
But I think as a people, we need to recognize that it begins with us. I kind of get what Master's saying.
Yeah.
We have to internally, because again, this is a Black man saying this about women, period.
Oh yeah.
And talking to a Black woman.
Yeah.
So we have to heal. There's some therapy that that needs to happen in our community. There needs to be some kitchen table conversations like this one that needs to happen within our community. There needs to be some accountability. Like, bro needs some accountability straight up. Like,
yeah,
you cannot call a Black woman a failure. You cannot call a Black woman a failure when you're just as bad, and you need to seek accountability for the failures of your life.
Y'all don't think he was calling himself a failure as well, though?
No. He didn't say. He said he had a failed marriage.
He didn't articulate it, but what he did articulate over and over again was that she, a woman. I never heard him say. I heard him say, okay, I had a failed marriage, I divorced or whatever, but I never heard him take accountability. Like, okay, I'm a failure too.
Right.
I take ownership too. That needs to happen. And we don't see black men doing that. And that pisses me off. Like,
I think we don't see Black women do it either, though. Because y'all don't see Black men do it because y'all date Black men. Like, do Black men see Black women do it too?
No. Let me tell you something. A lot of the issue is because we perpetuate the cuffing season. We allow ninjas to stay up in our house and do what the heck they want to do, not take up accountability while we have like 5 jobs and they sit on the couch and play PlayStation. We are the ones that are like out here. I've seen women raise not only, I have seen women not only raise their children, but raise that man and still lie up with him and not taking accountability for because they want that love. Because they want.
So what is it when the man do the same thing? Then is he being the man?
Yes, he's being a man. Yeah. He's being a man. When a man goes to work.
Now I'm talking about when he taking care of somebody who ain't doing much either.
Oh, well, I don't know about none of that. You talking about relationships? Oh, I don't know about none of that.
But that's what she just was talking about.
Is she taking care of the household?
Huh?
Is she taking care of the household? It's a different dynamic of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a woman that takes care of go to work, comes back home, and takes care of the household. And homeboy does what he want to do, ripping and running all day.
So what I'm saying though is, it's a lot of, even like today, right? It's a lot of women in the world that can't even damn cook right now. There's a lot of women in the world that don't do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Even with me, like I look at the fact that like right now I wash clothes, right? I wash clothes right now. I have to cook. My daughter have to eat. I have to eat. You know, I gotta clean the house. Like all of these things, right, is what one would say that a woman would do. But then when I'm doing it, to me, it's like, that's it.
You're a different breed.
So, okay,
to
so
me,
first,
like, to me,
you said when you're doing it, that's one.
To me, not only is it like that's it, because I'm already doing it. It's like, okay, well, if I'm already doing it, right, and the person comes, now what do you have?
A partner.
I already do all of that.
So the person that comes into your life, if equally yoked, is someone that can help you share that load of doing those things. That's what a real partnership is. That's what a marriage is supposed to consist of. It can go both ways. I see what you're saying. You're saying it can go both ways. You can have a woman come in and not add value to your life. That's the same thing as the whole
what I might have to take.
What do you bring to the table conversation. For a very long time, I think a lot of women kind of get thrown off and taken back by that question, when really and truthfully, we should realize what we bring to the table. And it does not have to be just money or what we have or what we can do, but it's also the things like, I got my mental health in check, or I'm going to therapy, or I conquered the demons in my life so that I can heal, so that I can have a successful relationship moving forward. All of these things matter. So whether it's man or woman, if you're going into a relationship and you're just because you want to say you have someone and that person does not add value to your life, then of course it's not going to be equally yoked.
I'm saying in order for somebody to do these things, what do I got to deal with? You see, right now I come home to peace and quiet. I ain't got to deal with nobody nagging. I ain't got to deal with none of that. And to lay up with somebody, right? Like if a person might say, "Oh, well, you get somebody who you can lay next to or be with physically." Well, you could get that without nobody moving in. These days, you can get that 2-3 times without, like. So I mean, it's like
you're looking. You require someone with substance.
Right, that's what I was just talking
about. People, there are people of substance, and then there's not.
What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, whatever a person come with, it's like, is it worth? I don't have to deal with nagging not once right now.
Who been nagging you? Who be nagging?
No, what I'm telling you is that's what most men really want in life.
They want peace,
right? They want peace.
Oh yeah.
And especially y'all know what this life is like. So
especially a black
that's a
man.
big thing for me.
Yeah.
Peace is a big. It's not a who been nagging me thing. It's just the fact that
You need your
most
peace.
men want peace, and more for me because disrupting my peace might into crisis. See what I'm saying? Stress is the lead cause of a crisis, right?
Yep. Hospital. Yep.
So that's why I
Mhm.
speak. So that's why I'm speaking on that. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right
When I
about
say
that.
nagging, I'm just saying
Yeah. Peace.
anything that
Yeah.
goes against what I already choose
Gotcha.
freely. I don't have to have nobody like if I want to sit down here and paint all night, I don't have to hear nobody talk about that. If I choose to, like she said, if I got work done or whatever, and I choose to sit up and watch Power or play PlayStation or whatever I choose to do, I ain't got to hear nobody talk about it. Not one time.
But I think that it goes both ways because I feel the same way. As a single parent, as a single black woman right now, I have reached a point in my life where I'm at total peace and happiness. And any man that's going to come through that door, okay, he better have it right. Or it's not, it ain't going to work. He ain't even going to be able to get past the threshold messing with me. But here's the thing, it's all a matter of doing the work on yourself because you have to, what you require, you also have to give.
Right. Because
You have to be prepared to give that.
if you want her to be at peace with you playing video games all night when you want to, you got to be at peace with the fact that she got a bonnet on her head. And you got to be at peace with the fact that she don't feel like cooking sometimes. Because it works both ways. You can't have
Oh,
scrub,
that's funny,
you know?
man. That's
You can't
crazy.
have scrub moments
Now
and
you
then
just talked about, huh?
not let her have scrub
I just,
moment.
but what was the first thing I said prior to what I said me doing in my leisure time? What was the first thing I said? I said
That
if my
doesn't
work
matter.
is already done,
That don't matter.
it's not a
That don't
scrub
matter.
moment if your work is done.
But then she does work too. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a
Here's
scrub
what I
moment
don't.
if your work is done, is what I'm saying. So
Okay,
when you don't want to cook, ain't that part of your work?
not necessarily.
Not
Especially,
necessarily. Look,
Wow. So you mean to tell me
especially if
basically
you
a
like.
person got to do?
Wait,
Oh, go ahead. I'm
especially
gonna
if you
wait.
like me and have two jobs. When you have,
Mm-hmm.
I got two jobs. So
Right.
therefore, when I'm like, if I don't feel like cooking, I look at the boys like, bruh, I'm still working. You got
make
to
it
figure it
happen.
out, bruh.
Well, you
Because
got kids to do that, right?
I just did what? I just paid the mortgage with not one of my jobs, but with two of my jobs. So if y'all sitting around looking at me while I'm working,
Well,
bruh,
you talking about kids? We talking about you. We was talking
no,
about.
I'm talking about the man too. All of them looking at me. The big one, the one I'm married to,
Say the big one.
the big one, and the medium-sized one and the little one, all looking at me like, where the food at? And I'm like, I got two jobs. So
So you
y'all
call
gotta
it a
figure it
scrub
out.
moment when a person on their leisure time.
And the thing is, women, I don't know about y'all, but
I'm asking you.
I don't have leisure time like that. My leisure
No,
time,
I'm saying you call it a scrub moment. That's what you just
that's a scrub
That's
moment.
funny.
That's a scrub
You
moment.
can
A
do what you
scrub
want to
moment.
do in
Huh?
those little bit of moments to just grabs and grasp. Because I think I can say for everybody that's present right now, we live very busy lives. It may be different in a lot of ways, but I think that everyone is busy. So when we do have the time to take the time and be, you know, a scrub or a scrub moment.
Right
I
now I
could be a
might do what
scrub.
I want to do because I done what I needed to do.
Yeah,
What about that?
exactly.
So I have a question. You've done what you needed to do, and now you want to do what you want to do.
Right. And
That's
what's crazy is that sometimes what I want to do, right, is still more like art is what sell, right? But at the same time, furniture is a love. See what I'm saying? So that could be what I very well might want to do. Like, how many times, Shay, you probably call me and, I'll be on my side in the garage doing, like, painting or building some stuff. So that's really a spare time for me. So, I mean, is that yet I'm still being productive.
Okay, I got you. So would you prefer to have more time freed up so that you have more, free time, or would you rather be in a relationship? Because relationship is work. My husband got to work with me. I mean, he gets to do what he want to do, but like, do you want to hire somebody to take your chores away, or do you want a love?
Yep, I'm on the fence right now.
Okay, well, I just want to know. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why I asked, because
when you live like this,
it's
like,
hard.
really,
I don't even know how you do it, Master. I don't even know how.
Nah, I ain't taught that. This ain't the hard part. The hard part, like this part, cool.
Yeah.
Like the hard part more than anything is the more than anything, the hard part is like my daughter health. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the hard part.
You can hire somebody for that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's like that. As I mean, the things that one might, or even like conversations with my daughter, certain conversations, she's 13 right now. So certain conversations more likely going to be tough. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, what's hard? What's the hard part?
Yeah, I get it. I just think that sometimes there's men out there that confuse the two. Like, they think they need a woman, but they really just need a maid. Or they think they want a woman, but they really just need to go get them a toy. Like,
they want a porn
flashlight or something
they
like
want to
that.
hire you. Yeah, like,
what you mean? What you mean a toy?
They want a porn star.
They want. No, I'm just saying.
Flashlight.
I thought she was talking about it. I was about to say, wait, what?
I'm just saying that I think that in a lot of men's minds, when they say they want a woman, what they're actually saying is they need help around the house. And those are two different things.
I agree.
Yeah.
You either want a relationship with someone that's going to multiply your life, or you want to hire Esmeralda so you can have more free time. It's no shade. Ain't no skin off me. I'm just saying that more people need to be aware of what they need when they say they want a relationship. Women too, because some women they be say they want a man, but then they got this long list of stuff. It's like, girl, you want a unicorn? Good luck. Like, good luck.
Man, everything on the list that they can't provide.
You can't even give him half of what you writing down, and you over there scribbling, scram. Oh, he gotta be this, that. It just,
Lena, you are preaching right now, because it gets me when I hear a girl talk about something. I want a man to give me a Prada bag or and they can't even afford it.
Oh, well, that's true. That's real life, though.
And you can't even get on the bus.
Right.
I'm just saying it's real life. But what about
you want a Prada bag with no money in the wallet?
It's a lot of chicks that value material things versus other things. Yeah,
they want to look. They want to look good.
A lot of chicks that
they want to look. Yeah.
They want to look like they have substance instead of actually having
that's just like
substance.
You just go ahead, right? And you give them, like, let's say a date or whatever, because that's time, right? And I'd rather my time more than the money. So but it's gonna take about $250 or something for a date. Maybe you might take a person out on a date or whatever. Y'all go to the show, y'all go somewhere to eat or whatever in a normal life. You might as well just go ahead and cut the chase. Just get, and save yourself some hours. Simple. There's a lot of men in the world. I'm not one of these men, because I don't believe in this. I don't believe in paying for nothing that I'll pay for water, but I don't believe in paying for too many things that I can get for free. But there's a lot of men in the world that be like, they deal with prostitutes. because they feel like
It's true.
it ain't nothing. I'm open.
It's easier, and there ain't no expectations. It's just here, take this money, and let me get on about my day.
Go.
Right. You don't pay them to stay. You pay them to go. Okay?
I'm paying you to leave.
So
I'm paying you to leave.
I think this is a great conversation, guys. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up? I think this was a lovely.
We didn't even talk about the sickle cell part. Y'all said we was talking about dude.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, we have an hour. We're at an hour now, so I guess we're gonna have to, push that to our next show next Tuesday, and do it that way.
What is it? What you got to say?
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get to it.
We'll talk about the sickle cell stuff next time. I do believe though, like you said, it takes a village to raise a person with sickle cell even more. Like, yeah, it's tough, and not saying that it's tough to just like, I know, like it'd be tough with me knowing sickle cell. Like, so when parents don't know. I know they got it, you know what I'm saying? I know they got it like way tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I be saying, like, I be telling people, like, if your kid is the only, if your child is the only person that you know with sickle cell, you failing your child. Like, you failing them. You need to know way more people than that, because there's more people that could talk about more different things, and there's so many different things that go with this right here. Like, so many things, so many different types of crises. It's ridiculous. I never knew you could have a face crisis until I got on social media. I never knew that. Like, I never knew you could have it in your teeth. I never knew that until social media. I never even knew that pride prism was a thing until I got on social media. Like,
I don't know if I'm the only one here, but
the females
the buttocks. Okay, the buttocks. I've had crisis in my buttocks. If anybody don't know what that is, my butt. All right, and it hurts. Okay, you can't lay, you can't sit, you can't stand. Ain't nothing you can do in the world to feel good. So if you ever had that pain, I feel for you. I do, because
this is why we are true warriors. Yes, because it doesn't matter what part of your body. It doesn't matter. It's like the types of pain that we've endured. People will never know, and I'm okay with that, because I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But it's like when you don't know something, it's best to just. You know what I'm saying? Like, people love trying to, it's just like, don't.
Yeah, I wish it. Yeah. I wish it on people. I wish it on people. Now,
So, Master.
Nah, I'm not saying I want them to have it forever. It's like a week or two. I just want them to deal with it I just want them to experience it.
A month.
See, she's giving longer. I just a week or two. Yeah, I just want them to have it for a little while. Like, I ain't saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, honestly, I get you. I be wanting to just touch their arm so they get the current of pain that I feel. Just, you know.
You know what? This is what I want. I want them to wake up in that wake up in it. That's when you know it's real. When you wake up in it, when you wake up and the crisis is just there, it's, you ain't had time to get to the pain, man. You was asleep. And you woke up, it was 10. You barely can walk now because you woke up with that. That's a different.
Right, you triggering me right now. Yeah. You hitting my traumatic stress, and it's coming like.
This is real.
But it's real though. Yeah. It's real. And then when you're raising kids and they little selves, they just kids, they just kids. My son be like, Mama said she had a headache. She's been sleeping. I'm like, First of all, I made your whole life. Can you hush? Like, let's do some self-care.
Right. I made you. You're a whole person.
You tattling on me. Talking about I've been asleep. So, and what? And what? Do you want to feel how I'm feeling right now? No. Then go sit down and quit tattling on me. Okay. To your father. All right. Stop. But y'all,
it's the kids recording the videos when you sleep. For me, my daughter be like, "Oh, she's on Snapchat. She's mommy's sleeping. What? I wake up like, what the hell?
What did we do to deserve this?" But that's the stuff that's like we're parents, right? We're just parents, but we have this entire sickle cell thing to deal with for ourselves and our children and the people closest to us. And you're right, Master. If you don't get your kids into some sort of connection with other kids like them, then what are you even doing? I
just
mean,
think the parent though. I think the parents need to get themselves like. Listen, I ain't trying to bash. This probably gonna sound bad. Whatever. Who cares? But they got this moms group, and that's stupid to me. It's weird to me
group?
Because I mean, shout out to them. Good job or whatever, I guess. But they missing half of the. Like so as a parent with a daughter with sickle cell, I need to talk to women sometimes, like because I don't have that journey of what she'll deal with, And so with me understanding that, I do understand also that if you say, if it's a group where only women can be up in there, when somebody come in there wanting to know about their son, what y'all gonna say? When somebody want to come up in there talking about my son having an erection and it won't go down, which one of them women gonna say, I had an erection too, and it won't go down? You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
that's a perfect point.
Like,
we need to have a parent group.
I mean, there definitely needs to be more, groups where both parents are welcome. And, maybe that's something that, can be started. Maybe that's something that, you might want to take on yourself, make one for dads,
Shay, do I add men groups?
Well, I think it should be.
He did try to have a man.
I don't add men groups, but we did try to do a men's group. But listen, it's a thing because a lot of men don't they're not vocal. You know what I'm saying? You have a person for Ron. You got thing on YBT. It's not a lot that I can name that really is real vocal about things. Then you get the people, they be, oh, we do stuff in the background. All right, cool, whatever, stay in the background. So, I mean, but I'm just saying that them women need to understand that there's other parts to their son that they can't deal with. That's all.
I hear you on
that. I love to hear your perspective, Master. It's very enlightening. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I feel like I think it's a, like Dima said earlier, it's a definitely unique perspective, but it's also so. Does anyone have battle? Anything else?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm gonna go check on my husband now.
Well then.
Oh, I don't know if you heard me. Thank you for having me. Go check on my husband. And
sounds like a plan.
All that trash.
Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you.
I just want to say I'm available. I'm available, Master.
A little bit.
With your daughter. I'm available. I'm a Black woman with sickle cell. I'm available. That's the least
But
I
let
can
me tell
do.
y'all what I'm gonna need. What I'm gonna need soon is So and even though I'm a guy, I still think that a lot of women be feeling more comfortable talking to women. But I do have a friend who has a child with sickle cell, and she's very very new, like so I could talk to her, I talk to her, whatever, but I haven't been through a whole lot. Like my sickle cell journey has been pretty blessed, been pretty, um, but I know other people have been through things, and so I'm gonna try to create like a messenger group where she can at least come and just ask questions, um, and people can ask if they know, and if they don't know, ask somebody that they think do know. So. Yeah, I just want to help her because she's scared, you know. So I help her as much as I can here, you know what I mean? Like I do as far as talking to her and stuff like that. But the kid is he's at an age where he can't, he don't, ain't no, he won't. Like, so it's like, she don't know some certain stuff. She a new parent. Like, but I just want her to get the help that she need without have to, from people that live with it too, though, instead of just these doctors. These doctors at a certain age, they're gonna try to get her on every type of medicine that they can. And I just hope she don't fall for that.
She won't.
So I think we should hit up Elle for this conversation, Elle Cole, because she's in charge of like the caregivers component. I really think there needs to be like a caregiver hotline.
Yes, that's a good
And that's an
idea.
idea, but that's Elle. I'm doing so much right now. That's Elle's department. So I think we should, as a collective, bring this idea to her.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We came up with some ideas about some crazy Facebook man who had us all
Kevin
messed
Samuels.
up. Right.
Y'all was male bashing.
No, not at all.
Not male bashing.
I'm just
Okay.
joking. I'm just joking.
Speaking
I'm
the
just
truth, it's
joking.
more like it.
I'm about to paint. Then I'm about to paint for a while, and then let me see. What is 9? I probably paint for about another couple of hours. Get done with about 2 or 3 paintings, and then I'm gonna be a scrub for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a scrub too.
All right, go ahead and be a scrub then.
I'm gonna be a
You
scrub.
got it. All right, everybody that's watching, thank you. Who for those of you who were watching, who are watching, who will watch, thank you all for the support. We truly appreciate it. We will try to be here on Tuesdays. I feel like we're good with Tuesdays. I don't know. We'll figure
I'm
this
cool with
out.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean it worked. I feel like it worked. So
Yeah, I don't have much to do on Tuesdays.
so seems like a Tuesday. Time to be determined, but we will get it together. I'll get a flyer out, and thank you all for support because it's only going up from here. I love you all. Thank you all for doing this. This is so amazing. Until next time, I leave you with my words of wisdom, my positive words of wisdom, which is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Until next time, folks, peace.